Hello, this is Darren Pearson from darrenscorner.com, and we're going to continue on looking at part 7 of our tutorial series on creating a web-based trivia game in Tumult Hype. So if you go to darrenscorner.com and click on the tutorials section, we scroll down to part 7, and we're going to add a function called remove wrong answer that, again, we have 4 wrong answers. We gradually want them to fade out over time. And if we click here on instructional files, we'll see part7.zip. We can download that, expand it, and once it's on the desktop, we can see we have the background image, the trivia file, the part7 start, and then we have 2 text files, part7 actions, part7 function. So if we take a look at those, pull it up over here, we can see part7 function shows the bits of code that we're going to copy and paste. We're going to change initialize main. We're going to change answer clicked, basically getting rid of some of the alerts. And then we have a function remove wrong answer and update main, and we'll talk about those. So let's first go in and update initialize main and update initialize answer clicked. So I open up part7 start.hype, and this is where we should have been at the very end of step 6. So initialize splash, we're not going to change anything there. Initialize main, however, I'm going to go and delete everything between the 2 curly braces. So again, we always have to have the opening curly brace and the closing one. And then I'm going to copy in everything from lines 7 through 34. So I scroll up here, start here. I can actually start at 6 and go down here, copy. So you can see I've gotten rid of the alerts, and then the last line or 2, I got a little snippet here that shuffles the temp1 array. Now again, temp1 originally has 5 elements, and we use the splice command to get rid of the correct one. So these are the wrong elements, and then we basically, this little code, you can go follow this URL right there to see how it works. Basically, it randomly shuffles it. So we'll first get, we're going to change the order that we get rid of the wrong answers using this. So we changed that, and then in answer clicked, we're going to remove that and put in lines 46 through 56. So let's take a look there. I get rid of all this, and then in my text editor, lines, I think we're still going to keep 1 alert in there, but I got rid of some of the other ones. So I just copy that in and paste that right there. Again, let's make it look a little prettier. Kind of keep our indents there. But no big changes there. I'll do a file save just to kind of get in the regular habit of doing that. And in the main scene now, we're going to go to the timeline at 5 seconds and run a new at 5 seconds, we're going to say remove wrong answer. So it's going to grab one of those wrong answers and get rid of it. So main scene, in the main timeline, we're showing it, starts moving at 3 seconds. At 5, we're going to go from showing 5 different answers and get rid of one of them, so then there's only 4 visible. So at 5 seconds, watch what I'm going to do here. I'm going to resize things just a bit so I can see this a little bit better. At 5 seconds, right here in the main timeline, I have a timeline actions button. So I'm going to click the plus sign, and it will put an action right at 5, and the action says none. From the pull-down menu, I'm going to say run Javascript. And function, I have a couple options here. I'm going to choose new function. So I get another tab right there. It's called untitled function. Instead, I'm going to rename that to remove wrong answer. So get rid of that. Remove wrong answer. There we go. And I'm going to copy lines 68 through 73 right here. So right about there. Now I've got 3 alerts in here. Copy. I'll paste that in. And I'll do a file save. Now if we look at the code here, what this does is I create a temporary variable answer blank display, answer and then a variable display. This is going to grab temp1 0, and I'm going to say I'm going to hide temp2. So it's going to be I'm going to hide answer A display, answer B display, answer C, one of the wrong ones, whatever's in the 0th slot. Now normally that got randomized by modifying the other function there. So I do an alert, and then I say the visibility, I say use getElement by ID, and I say the visibility of temp2, that's going to be answer A display, answer B display, answer C display, whatever, is set to hidden. And then I'm going to say the old array of wrong answers is this, and then when I perform an array shift operation on window.temp1, I'll see the updated array of wrong answers is this. So basically I'll get rid of whatever in the 0th slot. So a shift will go from having 4 elements in it to, when we run this again, then we'll have 3, then 2, then 1, going on down the line there. So we'll see, let's check out how that works so far. So I only have it at time 5, so let me do a file save and I'll preview. And it starts moving. And then right here, bunk, about to hide answer A display. So it's going to hide Zachary Taylor. Okay. The old array of wrong answers was A, C, B, E. Okay. The updated array of wrong answers is C, B, E. So we got rid of A. So now we know C, B, and E are the ones we're going to have to get rid of. And if I refresh this, notice that, okay, now A is hidden. Now we randomized it, so if I do this again, there's a, I guess, 1 in 4 chance it'll pick A again, but let's see if it does. Starts moving, 5 seconds. About to hide answer A, okay. So, same thing happened. Let's try it one more time. 3 seconds moves, 5 seconds. Now it's going to hide answer E display. So Martin Van Buren's going to go. The old array of wrong answers was E, C, A, B. The new array is C, A, B. It got rid of that. And notice that one's gone. Now the reason we want to do this is we use the random shuffling there, so we don't really see a pattern when we play this, So it will randomly pick one of the wrong answers and get rid of it. And it won't, the next time we play it won't always choose A, then B, then C, something like that. So so people can't really cheat that way. So that's good so far. We still got a little bit of work to do. Let's go back to our actions. We put the remove wrong answer, Command Z, remove wrong answer function gets triggered at 5 seconds. We also want to run it at 7, 9, and 11. Preview the project, verify the following. The visibility of the 4 wrong answers changes at 5, 7, 9, and 11. When reloading the browser, the wrong answer disappears into a different order. The alerts temporarily pause the timeline. Comment out the lines using this symbol. So we're going to change this code. So let's first go in. I run it at 5. At 7 seconds, I'm going to say timeline action, run JavaScript, and I'll just say remove wrong answer. At 9 seconds, timeline action, run JavaScript, remove the wrong answer. And let me add 11 seconds. I want to run this function one more time. Run JavaScript, remove wrong answers. Do a file save and preview it. Okay. Starts. Here's the first one. We're going to get rid of B. Now we're going to get rid of A. Now we're going to get rid of C. Now we're going to get rid of E. So by the time we get to 0, the correct answer is there, and we can click on it. So that works. It's a little clumsy with the alerts. So if we look inside here, I kind of tell you to get rid of the alerts. I like just commenting them out. So I'm going to go inside remove wrong answers, and in front of alert, I put 2 forward slashes, 2 forward slashes, 2 forward slashes. So that just comments that out. I could delete it as well. And now, if I hit preview and start, notice it'll start moving. Bing, one of them went away. Bing, another went away. Bing, third one went away. Bing, fourth one went away. And we're left with the correct answer. So, that's good. That's good. Let's see where we are in our steps right here. So, save the project, preview in a browser. Okay, now what we want to do is around 14 and 15 seconds, what we want to do is we're going to fade out the question display and also fade out the score and then bring it back at 15, and we're going to update it right in the middle. So at 14, it's at 100% opacity. 14 and a half, it's at 0. 15, it's back at 100. So we're going to do that for this section right there, and instead of seeing the question, we're going to see the response that tells us when, on the first one, when William Henry died. And we're also going to fade this one out and update the score based on when we clicked in. So let's take a look here. So a little bit more, I'm going to select question display, that guy right there. And in the main timeline, in the main scene, select question display, go to 14 seconds right there in the timeline and press record. Let me pull this up and change this around so we can see. There we go. So I'm at 14 seconds. I turn on record. In properties for question display, click the diamond for opacity. So you can see there's opacity. I click that. So it's going to force it to be 100% at 14. I jump to 14 and a half. And I go in here to element, and you can see opacity is at 100. I'm going to crank that down to 0. And since record is turned on, it automatically puts in a diamond. And then I go to 15, and I crank that back up to 100. And turn off the record button. We can see what happens. It's visible, it fades out, fades in. Right when it's at 0% opacity, we're going to change the inner HTML. That's in a step coming up in just a minute or two. But I'm going to do the same thing with score display. I go to 14 seconds, turn on record, force the opacity using that little plus diamond symbol. Go to 14 and a half, bring his opacity down to 0. Go to 15, bring his opacity back up to 100. Turn off record. Again, it's easy to accidentally forget record on or off, and if you do that, you kind of goof up, so you might have to start over again. So basically, I just did those two things. Now this last little bit, we're going to add a function called update main at 14 and a half seconds. So at 14 and a half seconds, when both these things are faded out, I go to 14 and a half. Again, let's maybe go right there. So I'm at 14 and a half. Timeline actions, hit a plus sign, run JavaScript, new function. And instead of untitled function, I call this update main. And I'm going to copy in lines 85 and 86. So it's just 2 lines right here. Copy, go in here, paste it in. And they're both get element by ID, and we'll change the inner HTML. So let's take a look at what they do. There we go. I first go, and on the right side, I go and create a string score : space, and then I append on window.currentScore. And then I write that to the inner HTML of score display. So the string SCORE : space, and then whatever the score is gets displayed there. And then I pretty much do the same thing. I change the inner HTML of question display to be window.response current slide. So that's going to be the little trivia factoid about William Henry Harrison for the first question. So let's go and save the project, preview in a browser, and verify the following. The text for score display and question display fade out and fade in between 14 and 15, and the inner HTML changes at 14 and a half seconds. So file save, I preview it, I hit start. Let's just watch. Okay, First one, second one, third one, fourth one, and yep, score is still 0. Here's William Henry Harrison died on April 4th, 1841, only after serving 30 days. Score didn't change. Let's try that again. I'm going to click in on the correct answer about halfway through. So I know it's William Henry Harrison. I'll wait till we're down around 700. There we go. New score value 650. So we still have the alert in when we click on there. And now score should change to 650. Woohoo! Okay, so part 7's working the way we want it to. So again, file save. We're off now for part 8. So